Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Story Archives. I'm your host, Mario Busso, alongside
the other host, Zachary Newton. Welcome back.
We're back finally with the finale of Season 1 of Three Body Problem, Episode 8, titled Wallfacer. And this whole season, we've been talking about it, we've been asking about it, we've been wondering, when is Saul going to get a job here for this alien invasion? And it seems they've saved it all for the finale of the series, which honestly felt more like a setup to season 2 than it did like
Thank you.
Pushing anything.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one though, because I watched this episode and I'm like, man, this does not feel like a final episode for a season. Like there wasn't a huge cliffhanger, at least in my opinion. Yeah, it really did kind of feel like a setup. That said though, I'm not disappointed in the episode. It was a really solid episode though. Like it was surprising. I love that we finally get to see something about Saul. It makes me see. I think this is the part that I got to avoid when I watched Game of Thrones. I didn't have to wait for a year for the next season.
Well, I mean, you get a I think they spoiled us, to be honest with you. They spoiled us to the degree that, you know, so much happens in all the episodes preceding this one that you're a little, not underwhelmed, but you're expecting like an episode 5 type of craziness that is, it's impossible to keep up at that pace. So I think obviously this episode's more about like setting the tone of where we're leaving our characters off and like where we're going to pick up next season with each of them. So we get closure with everybody that we've encountered so far in season 1.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this episode starts off. I feel like this episode starts off more with just like a bang than it finishes with a bang. Quite literally. Yeah.
Well, I was kind of right about except it wasn't an orgy. I said Saul's he's gonna be like in a drug-filled orgy and then have like an epiphany. It was a one-night stand. And she was like really pissed. I mean, I think maybe she might have been more pissed about her own life decisions about, deciding to have a one night stand. But, and she's like taking it completely out on Saul, who's a douchebag, doesn't know her name. Or maybe he forgot her name, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of questions like regarding this episode, right? Because you have very much Nora is killed. We find out her name is Nora, even though the subtitles were wrong. It said Isabella in the subtitles. For some reason. I don't know if they'll correct that. But I was like, the subtitles say Isabella or something like that. And then when she gets struck by the car, Saul goes, Nora. And so I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's messed up. He got her name wrong.
Even after she dies. What if he really did get her name wrong?
That would be horrible. Like he gets questioned by Clarence and he's like, it was Nora, right? No, Isabella. What the hell? So we're made to believe that these cars, the autonomous systems in these cars, which I don't think all of those, the creepy part was those all weren't like Teslas, bro. Those were like normal cars. So, we were made to believe that these were all like hacked into. At least I think they were. I could have swore I saw like an Audi that was not a full EV. But anyways, I don't want to get lost on that one. If these Santi can hack into all electronics, like all electronics at any given time, I feel like it leads this. They need to define what the terms are of what they can actually do in hacking, and they could kill everybody the moment they hop on a plane. I mean, it's just like, why wasn't everybody just killed in this episode the moment they hopped on planes? They obviously
like Wade, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they pulled like a stunt on Wade while he was in his private jet. So why aren't they just like offing everybody? I mean, they did a sniper round that like hit Saul in the chest, which that's fine, but they could have taken him out when he was on the jet. They could have hacked into the fighter jets, maybe. I don't know. If they're capable of that level to be able to hack cars to strike him at will, I just think it opens the show up to so many potential plot holes to the point where I was even questioning, like, why are they even doing this mission with Will at this moment? Because these people know about it. The aliens know about it. And can't they just hack in and just mess with the timing of just a single one of these detonations?
Yeah. And that's one of the other things about this show that I'm just kind of like, I'm uncertain about. Like it kind of feels, don't know. It feels like a cop out to be able to use that every now and then. Like it's just a plot device, nothing more, right? Like I was thinking the same thing when they picked Saul up and they were flying Saul out to, where he learns that he's now a Wallfacer, which is apparently something you cannot refuse. So that's cool.
It's like a paradox, right?
Yeah.
I've been looking for the right word for this whole paradox thing, but it's the moment they announce you as a Wallfacer, even if you say you're not a Wallfacer, everyone still believes you are a Wallfacer because you've been given the title. So by being given the title, you will always get whatever you want at any time. So Saul can still keep all the drugs, and they're probably bringing women too. I mean, I'm just thinking like if he needs something, they're gonna provide it. But they did say as long as it doesn't breach international law. So I guess to a certain extent, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what all that's going to be.
I'm just saying,
I don't think that Saul is going to do all that stuff because we have to like him.
You don't think he's going to be like an emperor who just goes pure hedonist and just
we're going to
lamenting his old life and then realizes he can have everything like times 10 now because he's a Wallfacer and he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, but he also has to live life in like solitude. He can't be with anybody for long term at the very least. It seems.
Why not?
That was part of the obligation, right? Like they have to live out their years alone, correct?
Not really. I think the alone part of it was that they can't share their ideas with anybody until the right time. Like until they actually have like a breakthrough, they're not allowed to share their ideas.
Which is also crazy, by the way. Like think about how much faith you're putting into 3 tiny individuals that like first off, how are you going to coordinate things? What is that plan going to look like? And man, that what a bet to be like, whatever this person concocts in their head on their own is going to save the entire human race. Like that's insane.
I just think that they're operating with one bit of information that we don't have yet. Because the whole show, Saul's trying to get an answer as to why he was selected since he's kind of underqualified for the position, right? They choose a Chinese war general. They choose a professor who's also like a Kurdish war hero. And then they choose him, who's he's a researcher at Oxford, which that's fine. But every time he asks the question is why he was selected, they kind of allude to there being some sort of indirect reason, but they don't tell him what it is. Yeah. Right, which I don't know what the purpose of that is. We do know that he does stand out in a sense because he was the last person Ye spoke to and visited before she died, which we finally get closure on that. She is dead. I'm assuming whatever she was going to do, whatever her plan was pretty much to go see Saul. That was it. That there is nothing left for her to do. I'm assuming I'm going to break my cardinal rule of if you don't see the body, they're not dead unless the Santi reincarnate her in some other form.
Nah.
When they arrive 400 years from now. I'm going to assume that she is dead because Clarence is certain that she's dead. So that means they probably had people on the scene. And this doesn't seem like the type of show where they're going to just be bringing bodies back from the dead.
No, but remember Clarence's guy is also dead.
Exactly, Collins.
Yeah.
Which sucks for Collins, man. I mean, Ye really just
she
put the nail in his coffin. Yeah. The moment she did that, which she should have known, to be honest. But she
could have known. Probably just didn't give a crap. I mean, like her daughter died. She's basically sentenced everybody on Earth today and for the next 400 plus years to death. I mean, at that point, like, what's one more body?
Yeah. We can talk a lot about the Wallfacers, to be honest with you, so we should probably keep going on about that. It is a massive gamble, right? 3 people. I'm assuming they're gonna use the cryo technology on these people, right? So it very much feels like this is going to be the shot there. This all stems from Wade's epiphany, by the way, of the Santi can't know what's going on in our minds, right? I interpreted the whole solitude thing as not necessarily having to be a monk and live a life alone, although the Wallfacer may want to do that voluntarily if they see that everybody around them is dying for some reason. But I think, the whole Wade epiphany thing, I wonder who he was still talking to. We still haven't been introduced to that individual. I didn't see a single individual who had that voice on the phone in this episode. So that remains to be a character who will probably be introduced in season 2.
Yeah. And, we also still haven't really, unless I missed it, we haven't figured out what Ye's like joke was
Or what
to
it
Saul.
meant,
I don't like it. That did not feel like a catalyst for what Saul is getting into now. Like, I feel like that's going to be revealed later. Like, I feel like it has to be revealed at some point. Because Saul was very much against everything going on. I mean, rightfully so. I mean, the last thing I would want to do is be picked up by like a world government and then be forced into a role that I don't want, can't refuse. But I still don't understand what the joke was from Ye.
Well, I don't. Saul seems to have an idea, because when he's on the beach with Jin later in the episode and he says, I might have an idea. And then he kind of thinks about it for a second in his head, and he goes, and he laughs. He says, nah, it's stupid. So I don't know if he literally thinks it's stupid, like it can't be that, whatever the hell it is, or whether it's actually stupid,
Yeah.
But or neither. It could be that he can't tell Jin, right? Because he cannot share. Like, it's not wise for him to share his ideas with anybody. So he's slowly in this episode embracing the Wallfacer thing, which is great because we don't have to like spend this time in season 2 having a little mini arc of him having to embrace the Wallfacer lifestyle. Like, we're probably going to enter season 2 with, this man going full Doctor Strange. If you remember the Avengers, I think it is, where he goes into like the multiverse, and I don't know if it's the multiverse, but he's like, they ask him, how many scenarios did you go through? And he like cites like a ridiculous number that the humans lose, and he says, how many realities did we win? And he goes, 1. So maybe Saul's gonna go into like his Doctor Strange moment. That is Doctor Strange, right? The Benedict Cumberbatch character.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, although I have not seen the movie. I stopped watching like Marvel movies after like Avengers.
Maybe
1 or
you're
2.
a Wallfacer. Like, you just like absent from all cultural societal norms. You somehow missed the 12 years where anything that came out was a Marvel movie. And so you just emerge fresh, untainted from society to lead us to better storytelling,
to better cinema.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to, man.
I haven't seen. What are superheroes? What are these? Anyways,
what are these weirdos?
I do think we, speaking about the plot holes, about like what are the capabilities of these damn Santi, right?
Mm-hmm.
We do kind of get an answer that the countdown is all mental warfare, right? That the countdown, they cannot detonate some crap in your brain that kills you on like immediately, right? Because we see a countdown go to 0 in this episode on Wade. So that is pure mind game. They do need enforcers on the ground, like the religious nut who tried to snipe Saul. I feel like it's always a white guy they put in that role. It's like it's always. I mean, obviously you have Tatiana too, but like the deranged shooter is always like the white guy, and he was disturbing too. He's like, "I'm sorry."
He was. It felt right. It was a little creepy. It was like, all right.
It was like too creepy. He's like, "I'm sorry." So I was like, "It's all right, man. It's cool." He's like, "No, I'm
he
sorry.
just tried to kill me.
Sorry, I didn't shoot you in the head."
Sorry, I missed. Yeah, I know.
Saul should have shot him. If he's a Wallfacer, he should have just shot him in that room.
Hey guys, can you cut his head off for me? I don't know. Maybe that would. I thought it was violate some law.
Zach, I thought it was borderline comical that the moment he refuses the Wallfacers, within 2 minutes of walking outside, he's sniped. I mean, I actually kind of laughed a little because I knew he was gonna live, but it was so ridiculous. He's walking out. He's kind of like storming out, like a child having a tantrum, like his parents ground him or something. And he walks out immediately on the side, was sniped. Like just. It wasn't even like 15 minutes later in the episode. It was within 30 seconds. Like, I refuse the position of Wallfacer. And he goes outside and boom.
It made me wonder for a moment if it was the government like retaliating against him, but
I think that
it was a short thought.
Okay, so I thought that too. I said, what if this just like maybe Wade is doing this thing? Because I did float some nefarious, cynical Wade theories last episode about potentially Will not having cancer, and we did get a YouTube comment or a Spotify comment saying, "No, guys, Will was ill. He was definitely ill." And I was like, "He
was ill with a W." Will.
Yeah, Will with ill. Will is ill. Anyways, is there a rapper named Ill Will? I feel like that would be a good.
I don't know. That's kind of a cool name though.
Yeah. So I did think maybe like the moment he walked outside, Clarence was like, all right, sniper, she's coming outside. Like, take him out. You know, like, shoot him in the chest. I gave him a bulletproof vest. Also, that bulletproof, do we have technology like that? That thin?
I don't know. I
Kevlar?
want that, though.
Right? I don't know.
That's impressive.
To wear that around all day, I mean,
it didn't look heavy. It looked like
light.
It looked comfortable. Like
it did look
maybe there's some nanofiber technology up in there or something.
Maybe. Which, speaking of nanofiber technology, how's Augie just manufacturing nanofiber technology, like pulling it out of her butt? Like where did she get this? She I understand she left and she open sourced it, but there's no way she just has a nanofiber water filter out of nowhere in Mexico. I mean, not that much time has passed.
No,
that I can tell.
Time has passed.
That I can tell, unless she just swiped one from the lab. You know,
well, I mean, she still would have had to have designed it and then built it and created. And it's not like
but maybe she
parts are easy to come by, right?
They did set this up a little bit, Zach, right? Because she has her whole like, the people are always going to get stepped on, and you know, so she goes to a poor place in Mexico and has it. So maybe she had already developed it, but like lots of things, they get hijacked for not necessarily nefarious. I mean, I guess we're still establishing the Santi are the enemies. Like, they're pretty clearly the enemies here, right? I do feel like we're heading towards a kind of dual storyline where, you know, the Santi arrive and they're like, you call us monsters, but look what you do to your own people. You know, something like that. And then they replay her quartering everybody on the ship. You know,
I feel like they could do that now. Continue the game of mental warfare here. Pit everybody against each other. I mean, that would be easier. Like right now, I think the world is still very divided, and if we stay divided, we're not gonna defeat them.
I've got a brilliant idea. Why not just send like the same trajectory of the brain?
Yeah.
Even if it gets there 398 years from now, send it as like an insurance plan. You know what I mean? Just send a large nanofiber, like just like a cheese grater almost. You know, like a potato slicer. Send it. Just slice their fleet in half. Like, they obviously don't like the nanofiber technology. They tried to shut it down, so maybe they didn't advance that far. The Santi are kind of losers. You think about it. Like it's taken them like 400,000 times the time to develop the stuff they have. So they're just a little salty about the fact that we've done it like in, 400 years. So
we accelerated it pretty quickly.
So like, damn, it took us like 4 million years to do this. They're just like, enough. We're going. Maybe the Santi, I think the Santi are also coming this way, right? Because they have, well, actually, no, because freaking Ye hit them with a signal. The Santi are probably also coming because they feel like if the humans advance any faster, they'll go to them and just do the same to them.
Well, I mean, that is a fear of theirs, right? Like, it wasn't a fear that they would just destroy them here. It's that they would then travel to their home planet in 400 plus years and then destroy everything that's remaining there.
Yeah.
So, that is a valid fear of the Santi, according to, like, what 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. I really do wonder what they look like, because they do say you won't like the way we look.
It just makes me want to know more.
I feel like any alien reveal is always underwhelming. There's never been like a solid alien reveal ever.
No. Alien reveal? No. Zombie reveal? Maybe. I mean,
zombie reveals have been like the Walking Dead zombie reveals was good. The 28 days later, 28 weeks later, like those vampire zombie. Those are the most terrifying zombies. Which is by the way, Cillian Murphy's in the first one, 28 days later. I bought
For real?
that one. I bought that series a while ago. I think they're actually making a new one. But those zombies, those zombies run, bro. Those zombies run. That's Danny Boyle. He's a beast. He directed the Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender, the good one, not the Ashton Kutcher one. And he's such a legendary British director that they had him direct the entire opening ceremony of the Olympics that took place in the UK. What year was it? Daniel Craig was already James Bond because they did a stunt where he supposedly jumped out of a helicopter with the Queen, which was terrific. And,
I remember that.
And they had the Mr. Bean Chariots of Fire on the keys where he's like playing the same note in the keyboard. That's one of my favorite skits. Anyways, I don't know what I was talking about. We're talking about zombie reveals. I don't know a single alien movie that just does a reveal. Maybe Signs. I thought the aliens in Signs were kind of creepy. Like there was moments in Signs where I jumped off the couch when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Specifically, there's a scene where if you don't have the lighting right, you don't get to see it properly. which is the scene where, and for years I always missed it, and I never understood what was so scary about it until one day I watched it, and I guess the settings were correct on the TV, or it was dark enough in the room for me to see shadows.
Yeah.
And it's a scene where the little girl goes, "There's a monster outside my window," or some shit like that. She says something like that. But every time I looked out the window, I couldn't see anything until one day I paused it and I finally saw like a shadow standing like outside the window, and I jumped so bad, bro. It was horrible.
I'll tell you the aliens that I do like are from the movie Alien.
I was gonna say Prometheus. I thought Prometheus.
That was a good one too.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think Wade's being straight up in this episode? Do you think the actual will experiment failed? Because right now, as we saw a sail detached, which, I mean, crazy to think that after a few nuclear bombs that, it looked like a flimsy plan to begin with. We're going to just send this thing. Every single explosion has to be perfect. Not only does every explosion have to be perfect, the trajectory has to be so perfect that this damn brain capsule has to go through the center of the bomb has to go through the center of the
center of the sail. Yeah, which was crazy. Like Jin said, you had to thread the needle literally 300 times. Like that's insane. Moving faster than any human-made thing has ever moved in the past. And just think about like how far off you're firing this thing and trying to connect with the Santi, right, dude? Like any slight deviation over that much distance and that much time, it's just going to send you, like, I would imagine, light years off in the wrong direction.
And if the Santi were smart, they could just like not touch it at all and just like, good job, guys, you made it to us. Yeah, but we're still coming.
I mean, look, I still feel like the Santi are gonna like pick them up or something. I would imagine. For sure.
Yeah. You imagine they don't, and that was just the end of Will.
That's the end of Will. That would be so depressing.
Considering the track record of the showrunners in this show with underwhelming moments, nothing is more underwhelming to me than freaking John having no role in taking out the Night King. But anyways, just running around like a maniac for a whole episode, which is not their fault, by the way. This is totally, in my opinion, George Martin's fault. Which I love you, Gurm, but you got to finish the books so that people can't just be free to roam, buddy. Anyways, that's my Game of Thrones tangent for this episode.
All right.
By the way, House of the Dragon, June is stacked, man. June is stacked, and I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna just put it out in there into the ether. A series on the Bear is coming, guys. I know you guys are requesting all sorts of things. I looked up Dark Matter on Apple TV. It's another quantum verse thing. I don't know if I can stomach another quantum verse show at this very moment. I think Apple's overdoing it, to be honest. This is like 3 or 4 in a row with the quantum whatever. Anyways, the Bear's hitting in June, and so is House of the Dragon, and there's another big show coming in June that I'm blanking on right now. I sent you a text, Zach. What else was in that text?
You did. It was the Bear, and it was House of the Dragon. That's all that was in that text.
The Acolyte also, which is a Star Wars show, which I'm usually not too interested in those, but this one looks a little different. So, like this one looks darker. Anyways,
interesting.
And I also feel like we should probably watch Fallout, but maybe not do episodic on Fallout. Maybe we should do like
It is kind of like at the top of the charts right now.
Maybe we just do Fallout. We do Fallout. I'll do my Bear thing. Maybe I'll do like season reviews of the Bear.
I'll catch up on House of the Dragon, and then we'll cover that one too.
Yeah. House of the Dragon we're for sure doing. But yeah. There's so much, man. There's just so honestly, like you guys are in for a treat because at least the whole year will be loaded with good shows. Because there's stuff on backlog that I haven't gotten to. Tokyo Vice season 2, Shogun. I'm me. I'm a fanatic with the Bear. So I definitely, I want to rewatch season 1 and 2. I'm a little upset that they don't sell the seasons on Apple. It's like I would buy them.
Really?
Rather than do Hulu, I would buy them for sure. And speaking of movies, Planet of the Apes is coming out. It just came out today, actually. So I just bought the trilogy. It's on sale on Apple. Plug $20 for all 3, and I want to go watch that one. So if it's good, maybe we'll do like a little mini review. Anyways, back to the episode. Do you think Wade is being upfront here. Do you think that the project failed? Because he whispers something in Jin's ear after it does fail, which to me, I'm always thinking to myself at all times, well, Santi heard that one. Like whatever he said, they heard it, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything like that's my issue with the Santis? That like are they omnipresent or not? Like what do they hear? What do they not?
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say they do seem omnipresent in everything that we've seen so far. Like they're just always there. They're always, at least that's what they keep saying to us over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest though, what I thought Wade was whispering in Jin's ear was like, shouldn't have put the damn spices in that ship.
Seeds.
That's what I was expecting him to say when he walked up to her. I was like, oh damn. But I don't know. Could have been anything.
I have literally no idea. I will say this: the Santi give a headset to Tatiana, their core assassination artist, I guess. And by the way, we kind of glossed over this, but the religious nut who tried to snipe and kill Saul earlier in the episode.
Yeah,
I think that was the show kind of laying the groundwork for that being a huge role in season 2. Like we're gonna see the emergence of a faction that are just like religious cult, Santi obsessed, crazy people. So I do think that's going to be one of the most annoying storylines to come. Like I think that will become a very annoying, borderline like the Mike Evans character in Game of Thrones when he's the priest in like how annoying that was, the Sparrow or whatever.
Yeah,
no,
I did not like.
It was.
Yeah, it was a High Sparrow. Yeah, didn't like that.
Anyways, I think we're gonna get that in this next season. So they did give her a headset, though, which makes me believe that they still have people working in a lab somewhere that are just generating these headsets.
They've got to, and somebody's got to be delivering it to these people. Like I thought Tatiana was delivering these headsets to people in the past. They were just wiping her off of the camera feeds and all of that stuff. But like, there's clearly some other faction of people somewhere.
They really care about packaging too. Like they got like the whole little white shell.
Like, it puts Apple to shame.
Yeah, postcards and stuff. Maybe Apple's involved.
Maybe they're the ones delivering this shit.
It's hilarious. Like they're worried about world domination, but they're like, "How's the packaging on these headsets? Like, are we? They're in a white outer shell.
Is it gold on the outside or?"
No, they're making design choices out here. She does get this. What do you think the purpose of her getting a headset is? Because we know. Prior to this, it was pretty much to recruit members who were open-minded to a new race coming in and pretty much just wiping out the humans or taking over. So what is the purpose of this? She's already a full-blown believer. So
yeah,
she does get a card that says if one of us survives, we all survive. But I don't understand why they're giving her a computer. Not a computer.
It could be more brainwashing. It could be instructions. Or my thought on this was, what if, I mean, dude, like, all right, so the Santi have these supercomputers that are just sitting around Earth. They're omnipresent. They can be everywhere all at once. They can look at everything, hear everything, see everything. Hear everything? Yeah, I think I said see twice, whatever. What if this is just like a headset she can put on to like mentally teleport anywhere and just like do reconnaissance and get information?
Oh, maybe.
I mean, that'd be pretty epic. Like, imagine you're like a spy or something, or somebody in the military. You're able to put a headset on and just know immediately what your enemy's doing at any point in time. That's kind of nice.
But we did. All right, so there's two things, right? We did kind of find out that the humans designed this game because we have Vera is like the young girl, the young NPC, and then a couple other characters. I think somebody mentioned Mike Evans had something in the background as well. That was similar.
Yeah.
Now the Santi obviously share technology that humans like in popular science in the show don't have access to. So that means that there are people who have made discoveries already that the Santi shared to create a game like that, right? That game is far beyond anything at the current timeline that we are in the show, anything that's been developed at that point, right?
Yeah.
So that means that there is a way to get a hand, like to get that sort of technology in the hands of the good side, right? And it makes me a little confused. I mean, obviously that's probably why Ye was killed, right? But she must have left in that joke some track record to Saul to get a hold of some of the research because she obviously was spearheading that. So she is aware of technology that it far exceeds what humans currently have discovered. So in that joke somewhere, or whatever realization Saul is going to come to, it has to lead to Ye's decades of work that that break down how to develop such technology to help the humans kind of take a leap forward.
Yeah, I would agree. It is kind of interesting. I mean, like the Santi try to stop us from progressing and from, you know, bettering our own technology, but at the same time, like maybe we designed the game, sure, whatever, but we sure as shit did not design the technology for that game. Like that had to have been communicated to the humans. That had to be communicated to somebody. Somebody had to build something that could create technology that small. I mean, just remember the hard drive that Wade was trying to get everybody to crack into earlier in the season. Like that was a ridiculous amount of data on there. Like there's you can't fit that much data on any physical device, not that size today. So like somebody somewhere is building the technology. I don't know. Maybe they're talking to Apple, and Apple's building the tech, and they're just like, yeah, sure, you can pay us in letting us live forever. That's cool.
Tim Cook's involved.
Tim Apple, bro.
Tim Apple. They have there goes another negative review. Anyways,
I swear I saw a video of like Tim making fun of that. It was funny.
Yeah. It's good people can make fun of themselves these days.
Absolutely.
What was I gonna mention? Do you think like if they do get their hands on that technology, that's like putting human innovation in a microwave immediately. Like that's like a jump of 100, 200 years in terms of technological. Like it ushers in probably a golden renaissance of scientific innovation, right?
Yeah.
To a point where we probably end this show where the humans are so far advanced to the Santi, it would be like seeing, you know, wooden warships approaching the shores of New York. You know, that's probably where we lead, and it probably maybe leads to another moral conundrum of like Wade saying, "We got to stop anyone else, so we're gonna go find other planets and then take them out." You know, like maybe it turns us into the Santi at the end of the series. You know,
yeah, but I mean, I didn't think the Santi weren't. They're not like Vikings trying to go conquer everything, right? Like they've been on their planet for millions of years. Like they're leaving their planet because they can't survive there. They're coming here, and then now they're threatened, so they're going to attack us. So I don't know that they were even the kind of beings to go out and just like hunt other species down.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I could totally see this taking a turn towards the end of the show, where we do become those people. It's totally possible, especially if the whole world is united. I mean, who else are we going to fight? You're going to have to fight something else somewhere out there to try and prevent everybody from attacking each other again.
My mind is just going in circles about the numerous ways Saul can get assassinated at any moment. I mean, it could be somebody at McDonald's poisoning a burger. You know, like it could be anybody.
It could be your stove, your smart stove that's connected to the internet, and they're like, let's just turn the gas on.
So Saul's going to go pure analog in the next, like, he's going to just go back to just technology that has to be, like, cranked on, like, nothing smart in his house. How about this? If he's in a place and they get enough of these, like, cult followers, right? Like that motel, you send 20 cult followers, like, with AKs, you're done for.
Yeah.
Clarence can't take them out.
No.
So
I mean, he could try, but...
So where does Saul go? Does he go to like a bunker somewhere? You know,
maybe he goes back to the cabin where he was with Will for the majority of this season.
That place is wide open.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it was pretty, you know, just like out on its own. Like it wasn't like in the middle of a city.
Did you notice that we keep on getting like this radio message about cicadas? Like just an unnatural amount of cicadas?
Yeah, I've heard it a few times.
Were those the cicadas at the end? Like when Clarence does that whole motivational speech? Was that them? Is that it? Because we have like 2 or 3 straight episodes of almost like Last of Us, when you watch The Last of Us and you hear in the background like strange breakout in India of blah, blah, blah. Like, but it's in the background. So everybody's eating breakfast and they're like not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
We keep hearing about these cicadas. So is there going to be some sort of global warming element to the story that's happening? Or was that strictly Clarence's, everyone hates bugs. We want bugs gone, but they're still there.
I think that was it. I don't know that there's anything deeper going on there. It was a nice kind of way to like turn around the whole "you are bugs" thing. Just be like, yeah, sure, we're bugs. Yeah. They haven't gone anywhere, and ever.
We haven't talked about it, but Raj finally confronts Jin in their weird ass relationship. It's apparently falling apart, and we do get kind of like this love confession from Jin. She now says that she loves Will.
Yeah.
So I mean, a little too late, If she
just
knew,
a little,
you both knew, or he didn't know. You knew though. Anyways, Raj confronts her. I'm assuming they're done with. Raj kind of gives a few evil looks this episode because his girl's more in love with the detached brain than she is with him.
Man,
so maybe Raj, the same way Wade has a role, right? Perhaps Raj gets a role, and this is where he becomes chaos, right? Because I'm still expecting Raj to kind of take a turn to the evil at some point here. What did you think of Wade getting promised a role with the Santi? They call him a strong, powerful leader. Do you think this is the Santi trying to seduce and turn people to their side however they can? Or do you think there's like a deeper thing here?
Could be like it could have been more of like their way to dissuade them from doing what they're doing. Like if your mission in life, is to defeat the Santi, and they're like, hey, by the way, you're part of our plan, you're probably gonna second guess every single thing that you do and be like, wait, should I do this?
Yeah.
Is this gonna help them? Is it gonna help us? So I don't know. I kind of saw it that way, and also, I think one thing that was revealed in this episode is that, which brings into question like this whole like, how is Saul alive? How do they not just like hack all the cars on the planet, just run them all over Saul till he's like, just a stain on the ground? The technology that the Santi have over here is clearly more powerful than we've seen, I think, because it's not just that they can hack into technology and wipe video feeds and mess with science and all of that stuff. It seems to be that they can manifest something visual in the real world beyond just the countdown. Like, this is more of like we saw the AI in that game just appear in front of Wade.
There are things that they can absolutely manipulate at a moment's notice. For example, the jet that he's on, they could project a landscape that's not there. In other words, he needs to land at Heathrow Airport, okay? They could just project an ocean, like an endless ocean,
Or just put the plane into a nosedive, or just shut the engines off.
So that's my whole thing. Like, I need more clarity on like, what are their limitations here? Is it all strictly projection, or can they do some stuff?
Or
was it a human who hacked the cars and not the Santi? I don't know.
Right, you see, I would be more okay with that because it would make me feel like there's some limitation here. Or I would be more okay if we knew that all of these particle accelerators are running, and it was just a comment. I don't think we ever saw a moment where like there was like this element of like, oh, they're all running, and you see this Sophon thing bouncing back and forth between trying to like stay on top of everything all at once, right? Like if I saw that, I feel like I would brush some of this stuff off a little more than I am, but I haven't. So I'm just like, they're everywhere, always, all at once. Like, how are you gonna get away? Like, don't drive a car, don't go outside. I mean, don't fly a plane. Like, for real. Like, that's the worst idea I've ever seen.
At least in this show. All right, so our characters, where do we leave off in season 1? We have Will drifting through space. His brain is detached as he floats in his little paper sail on the ocean. Would have been great to see Will like floating in the ocean in this episode, but nope.
I can just imagine like Will in that paper boat, and it's just like flying like it's a speedboat. It's like, that would be funny. Oh man.
Wade is been empowered as a leader, right? The Santi have kind of like told him that he has a spot. When they get there, they look forward to meeting him. While also being horrified by that. Tatiana has her headset, and I'm assuming emerges as the chief cult nut in season 2. Maybe in the shadows, though. Augie's in Mexico, ignoring Saul's phone calls and purifying water so people stop dying of dysentery, amongst other things. Clarence is attached to the hip to Saul for the rest of his life, while his son continues to think of terrible business ideas for 40 quid a month, or 40 pounds a month. Jin and Raj seem to be on a break at the moment, and Saul's coming to grips with his Wallfacer position here, while Jin is just going to have to go back to the drawing board on whatever the next trip is, or whatever the next plan is for her, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any characters I'm missing here? Ye's dead, so there's no more way, no more Evans. So
yeah, he's dead. And I imagine Augie's gonna come back and do more science stuff.
Well, if the Wallfacer requests, Wallfacer requests her presence, you got no choice, Augie.
She'll just sit there with like her arms crossed, and they're just gonna like pick her up and carry her over to a plane that doesn't crash in the middle of the ocean, and then drops her off right in front of them.
Could you be trusted with Wallfacer power?
I mean, I'd like to think that I could. Like, I'm not like a power hungry individual. I mean, I'd probably like, ask for a motorcycle or something.
I'd abuse it for sure. But it would be like not horrible things. It would be things like, I need I need front seat tickets to the I need to go to the NBA finals. I have to be at the Euro Cup soccer this year in the Champions League final. I have to. Do not question your Wallfacer. Do not question me.
I wonder what the Wallfacer could do to retaliate against somebody that does not adhere to like the rules of the game, right? Like, I mean, and by the way, that like whole conference thing that we saw earlier in this episode, I'm assuming that was like televised because everybody knew instantly who all of the Wallfacers were, and like they had to like bow down to these people and do whatever they say.
Before. I mean, look, they try to kill Saul before the announcement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did they try to kill him for another reason? Is there a secret reason why Saul's special that we haven't been led on to yet?
I mean, I think that the Santi could have just tried to kill Saul because Yates spoke to him, and they're like, don't know what that meant, but it must have meant something.
You guys know jokes yet? No, we need another 4 million years, boss.
Damn it.
You're telling me we've developed all of this science to cross across galaxies in record times, and we don't know what a story is? We didn't invest literature, boss. Can you imagine? These people have been around these aliens have been around for millions of years, and they don't understand what a joke is.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's how they kill
like
them.
I feel like in a society. I mean, look, I get that the whole 3-body problem thing with their planet is what keeps hitting the reset button on them. But
even the way they survive,
it's weird.
Dehydrate. That's funny.
Oh,
that's funny.
It is funny. It's really bizarre, though.
Everybody gets rolled up into like deflated air mattresses,
Yeah.
thrown into the ocean.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, like in a society where like there is no lying and things, people seem to like everything that you say is always true. Like I feel like it would be easier to advance technologically, than in a world where like people are gonna lie, like oh yeah, I'm gonna lie about this KPI that I did not hit, so that you don't fire me. Who knows? I don't think we're missing any characters really. You covered Wade, Clarence.
Seemed oddly specific on the KPI thing, but
I was just throwing out it's not something I've done. I don't need to do that.
Lying with data. Messing around. All right. Predictions for season 2 before we close out this episode and go to categories.
Well,
hey, did we do bets that were salvaged?
We did do a couple of bets.
Were they all resolved?
I think that they're resolved, and there's only 2 bets.
Okay.
You want me to go over them right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the 2 bets were the following. It was Ye Wenji has switched allegiances in episode 6, which was correct. So you got that one.
All right. So
and the other one was Will is the first person we know to defy the countdown, and I said no, which is also correct.
That was also correct. Yes.
So it is an even tie on this one.
Yeah,
but
we both get to use the company card.
there we go.
on drink.
Now split that. Split some what are those? High noons or
High
something
noons,
like that.
exactly. All right,
Beautiful.
Sounds good.
That's a plan. That's a plan.
All
No, like moving into season 2, I don't feel like we're gonna get a huge time jump. Like I feel like similar to the Game of Thrones storyline, like I feel like this is gonna feel fairly linear for a while. Like we're bound to have some time jump at some point because we've got to freaking advance 400 years. But I don't think it's gonna be like we pick up 100 years into the future in the next season or anything like that. Like I think we're gonna continue where we left off. And then I was thinking up until this episode, like what we would probably throw Saul and Wade and Augie and Jin into like the cryogenic like sleep thing, and just like wake them up every now and then. That could get really boring.
Yeah,
we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Won't say where. But now I have doubts because the Santi have inserted a seed of doubt into my brain around whether or not that technology is going to work.
I love that we've just accepted the ridiculous notion that the alien species invading us has given us not only a heads up that they're invading us, but the exact number of years it's going to take before they get to invade us. Just the element of unknown to just not put out there that you're 400 years away. That sort of terror would probably send humanity into a standstill.
Yeah.
But no, they have to say, no, we're 400 years away. You don't have to panic.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
the best lie is saying you can't lie.
We got 2 computers that are watching your every move, by the way. It's like, are they just talking trash at this point? Like, we own you? Like, we're going to just tell you everything we're doing? Like a great basketball player, I was like, I'm going to go left and I'm going to pull up for a jumper right there. Or is this just, they can't tell lies, so they are literally Will Ferrell in Austin Powers, where if you ask them a question 3 times, they have to tell you the truth. I think it's Will Ferrell in that role.
It's been a long time since I've watched that movie.
And he's just like, I'll never tell you. And he makes them ask 3 times, and at the 3rd time, he always just says what's going on. All right, my predictions. Okay, let's go crazy.
I like crazy.
Eventually, Saul has a breakthrough. He finds out what the hell that joke meant from Ye. It leads him to like a bunch of research. That is like all the technological breakthroughs that the Santi helped humanity get to. Him and Augie have kind of like obviously they end up together in this show, I would assume.
Yeah.
Raj goes dark Raj. He goes chaos mode. Okay, at some point here. Wade becomes kind of like a Dumbledore character where we start to learn more about Wade. If you didn't read Harry Potter, but
I didn't.
In the 7th book, somebody drops a book on Dumbledore pretty much of like all his secrets, and that essentially he's not like as squeaky clean as we thought, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like something like that with Wade's gonna happen. I think we get the religious cult aspect where somebody emerges as the leader and there's like civil unrest all around the world that pops up. Can we afford another main character dying? I think Clarence dies in this show at some point. If I had to guess,
I could see that happening.
I would hate it, but I think eventually he may die, which makes his son respect him for some reason. I don't know. And yeah, that's all I've got for now, I think.
This show has kept me bouncing back and forth on a lot of like theories, and like it's hard to know like which direction it's gonna turn. I
don't think we get a serious time skip until the end of season 2, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it can't happen at the beginning of the next season. I mean, it could, but it would. I don't think I would like it. Yeah, I could see something towards the end of season 2. Like if we were to break this down, like this season is the introduction to the threat. Next season's the real like preparation for the threat, and then the 3rd season's like the final like showdown. Maybe like I could see that. Maybe
I don't even see this turning into a war eventually. I just think it's gonna be like we either get strong enough to shoot him out of the sky or we lose, type of thing.
Well, that is a war. This is a war. That's a battle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, We won't know until season 2 comes around, so wonder how long that'll be. Do you know if this has been renewed for season 2 already?
Oh, dude,
I would imagine.
There's no question. Yeah, it's not even a question for sure.
All right, cool. Let's get into some categories. Let's cover favorite character of the episode. I feel like that one's a gimme though.
Is it? It's not Saul.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's not Saul. I go Clarence.
Clarence.
Yeah.
Okay. He was kind of absent from the last episode, right?
Yeah.
So he's back. I would pick Saul on this one, only because I don't think we've really had an episode of his yet, so I liked this one. But Jin, I think, was a runner up for me. Like, she did a really good job in this episode. I liked the internal conflict that she had. How about favorite scene of the episode?
Favorite scene. It's kind of like a toss up. I did it. I'm gonna say it's the selection of the Wallfacers, like that whole build up and leading to the announcement of it. I thought that was pretty good.
That was good. I think my favorite. See, I didn't even really remember the stuff at the very beginning of the episode, like with the car wreck and all of that. So like it's definitely nothing towards the beginning. Like, I did think that the announcement was interesting, but when I think back on this episode, the two things that stand out to me the most was the like catastrophic failure of sending Will into outer space.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the drive that Clarence took Saul and Jin on. I thought that was a
great scene.
Yeah, it was a great scene. Let's cover favorite line of the episode.
Favorite line.
I've got like two.
You go first, yeah.
All right, so my favorite lines. First one was Clarence in the scene I just mentioned, talking about how we've tried to kill bugs for thousands of years. They're not going anywhere. And then he's like, well, let's go get back to work. I liked that, and then I liked how intimidating. I don't know what to call it, like the AI Sophon thing. Talking to Wade was just reiterating, like,
yes,
we are everywhere all at once. We're in the room before you walk into it, like all of that. I thought that was pretty intense.
That was the most intense scene of the episode, 100%. That had horror elements to it for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have a standout line at the moment. I don't have one. I did like the Clarence one that you mentioned about the bugs. Everyone wants them dead and they're still here, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does the toast. This one's for the bugs.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
expensive
look,
whiskey.
I mean, pour one out for somebody, but bro, don't pour that much out.
Bottle.
Holy crap, man.
But it was for the whole population of the earth, though.
So?
It was a statement. It was a statement, bro. It was a statement. Anyways, all right. So that concludes it.
That wraps it up. That's all she wrote for Three Body Problems Season 1.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our coverage of Three Body Problem. We hope you're looking forward to Season 2 as much as we are. As always, stay tuned with everything else going on in the network. If you like this series, make sure to like this video on YouTube, subscribe to the pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure to review the show. A nice 5-star rating always helps. And as always, stay tuned for the upcoming shows that we're going to be diving into. June's going to be a busy month. There's a lot of shows to catch up on. Fallout's calling our attention. The Bears coming out in June. House of the Dragon Season 2 is coming out in June. So stay tuned. Be plenty on the network coming up. And you can be prepared for at least weekly episodes until we dive into the next show. So anyways, until next time, y'all. Have a good one. And email us at contact@soapbox.house if you have any comments about the series, your opinions on Season 1, and any shows that you might want us to cover. We already have gotten a few requests for Fallout, so it might be leading the way right now.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.